Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. And our question tonight comes to us from Amp 2K1, who asks whether one has to belong to a particular religion or worship a particular deity to get rid of a curse. Now this is a very interesting question because it's really two questions in one, and I'm going to try to attempt to answer both of them within the format of our 10-minute vlog. The first question I want to answer in a somewhat wider sense than it was asked, and that is that no, I do not believe that you need to belong to any particular religion or worship any particular deity to get rid of a curse or anything else. You do not need to belong to a particular religion to pray. You do not need to belong to a particular religion to work magic. You do not need to belong to a particular religion to have miracles in your life. You do not need to belong to a particular religion to have any sort of spiritual interaction whatsoever, because it cuts across all religions. And you see this in the history of the world because all of the world's religions have equal stories of miraculous events, of prayers answered, of healings, of blessings, etc. And within all of those different religions, the same thing is true for all the different deities. All of the different deities have stories of how their particular followers have had their prayers answered, have had healings and miracles and blah, 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 blah. It's in all of them. Therefore, it cannot be just one of them. Either they're all correct or they're all wrong, as my late grandmother used to say. And our point of view in the Correllian tradition is that they're all correct, and that miracles can come to any person in any religion following any deity. Anyone who prays in any context can have their prayers answered. Anyone who works magic from any background can have their magic be successful. It's not the outer structure that matters. It's what's happening within the spirit and its particular relationship to deity, the universe, and all that is. Part 1. Now, on to Part 2, the subject of curses. And in his question, Amp2K begins by saying that he is aware that the sole subject of curses is controversial, and it certainly is. And I'm sure for some viewers, my comments on this will also be controversial, because my point of view is that magic, whether white magic, which is good, positive, helpful magic, or black magic, which is negative, cursing type of magic, which good people don't do, but either one of them can only work for a person if it has a way to get into their spirit. Conventionally, we normally say that you have to believe in it for it to work. And in most cases that is true, but what we really mean by that is it has to have an in to the spirit. At some level, the higher self, the spirit, must accept the particular act of magic. If it does not, it cannot work. And it doesn't matter if it's good, positive, helpful white magic that the person consciously wants. If they're blocking it from their spiritual level, it won't come through. If they don't accept it at the spiritual level, perhaps because of inner belief systems that prevent it, perhaps because it's not their true path, any number of things can cause magic not to have an in with the spirit. And in the case of white magic, it's usually things such as limiting belief systems, the idea that it cannot happen. The classic examples are the person who wants a particular job but they don't believe they could ever have it, or they want to win the lottery and they don't believe anyone ever could, which is true for most people. These types of things will prevent it from working. And in the study of magic, one of the things that we must do is address those limiting belief systems and other crossed wires within our spirit that sometimes prevent us from getting the things we want. This is also why in magic we often use highly symbolic systems that bypass the conscious mind, and also they bypass those limiting belief systems to work on a symbolic level interacting with the highest levels of the highest self. Now, when it comes to black magic, which again is contrary to the Wiccan Rede and something that people really ought not to do, but discussing it, a curse as such, something meant to harm someone, can only do it if it can find an in with their spirit. It could be that the spirit is afraid of the person who is casting the curse and therefore believes that they can do it and lets it in. It could be some internal crossed wire of their own. Maybe they secretly believe that whatever they are trying to do will not work, and therefore they have an opening for black magic to come in. There are any number of things, but the way to prevent this, as well as the way to get rid of it if it has been done, is again to address those intercrossed wires, to look for whatever hole could have let it in, and close it. Because nothing can overrule the higher self ultimately. Because it is ultimately the manifestation of deity. And all of the powers of deity are ultimately available through the higher self. Most people are not remotely capable of manifesting all of those powers in the physical, but I believe that as a world, we're working toward that. And when we practice magic, we're bringing through a small portion of these that we are currently able, with our thinking mind and our current emotional selves, to handle and to practice. So, I hope that answers your question and gives you some food for thought, and until next time, may you blessed be. But wait, don't forget our books, Witch School 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Degree, and also Living the Wiccan Life, and Ritual in Theory and Practice, available at a bookstore near you, or get them direct from us at www.witchschoolstore.com.